studying, okay? I'm studying on my computer. Uh, I came in to work early because I had to leave from one job to the next job and get the ball rolling, okay? Now, I know some people be like, I get a lot of people, they complain and they whine to me and they tell me, some of them have good intentions, but you need to rest. Why don't you have, you don't need to be doing so much. Why should you be doing that? You need to slow down. And so, oh, let me get over here because I don't want no logos to be on my stuff. And so, while that might be true, I understand that time waits for no man, okay? I wish it did. Have you ever had times when you wish you did something at a time, but you wasn't thinking in your right mind? You thought you had enough time or you could do something later and you find out that you can't? Well, when you start moving with purpose, and you start seeing life for what it is and you start missing opportunities, you start seeing the power of persistence and the power of doing things in its proper timing and not procrastinating. Y'all, I am a huge procrastinator. Not because I think that things are not worth it. It's because, for the most part, sometimes I have issues with perfection, okay? And we're not perfect. And so the only way to get out of it is to move in it. You have to get into the elements and you keep moving in it. I started noticing that when I had obstacles that were coming against me, or even people, y'all, the only thing that helped me was to keep moving forward. I had to keep going, okay? I had to move through it, move through the pain, move while people were saying you can't do it. I had to move when nobody was looking. I had to move when people were intentionally trying to set me back, okay? It set me back on having fun so that I can fund what I'm called to do, I had to keep moving. When attacks came, when my body started breaking down, I had to keep moving. There's a power in moving forward. There's a power in persistence and moving forward, even when it doesn't feel good. You see those champions and those people that are athletes. My favorite one that is very prevalent to this day is Sha'Carri Richardson, okay? And she runs on the American team. And I remember when she was in the Olympics, everybody was laughing at her because at first she was whooping people's tail. They're like, oh yeah, she's the best thing since sliced bread. People were going in and yeah, she's gonna be good. And as soon as she had her downfall, going through hardships with losing her mother, having to deal with that and cope with it mentally and not having a support system, and coping and using other mechanisms that weren't so healthy, like going to go use substances to calm herself. People were ready to throw her out of the ring and say that she still wasn't a champion. But what she had to do was move through that pain. It hurt her a lot, but it taught her a lesson about moving forward. And guess what? She ended up placing last in the Olympics that year when they said, oh yeah, she was, going to come out. But guess what? She ended up starting getting more steady and she started working on herself. Everybody else was ready to throw in a towel on her, but God didn't. And guess what? When she came back, she started whooping on everybody's heads. They wasn't talking no more. All that laughter shut up, to the point where people who was going, against her and talking all this smack, all of a sudden they riding on her coattail now. Okay? So this is what I learned. This is what I learned about being persistent, okay? It's not going to look good. It's not going to feel comfortable. You're going to lose a lot of people who think that is you should be easy and flowing around. You're going to lose a lot of people who are not putting in the work that are around you, because you're going to be surprised when you start putting the work. You're going to start seeing just how many people was once like you, or even worse, you thought was not like you. You thought that they were moving and shaking, and then when you started moving and shaking, you really realized that they weren't moving or shaking at all. They was just giving lip service, okay? That's what you start seeing, and it starts getting you more on relying on the facts versus what other people are telling you. And this is another thing that I had to deal with. I kept saying, no, I'm not a people pleaser, but in a certain way I was. In a certain way I was, because I was looking for the validation of not everyone, but the people that were around me. And it's good to have validation from people who are around you. But when you have the wrong people around you and you're growing and you're having a growth mindset and the other people are stuck and they have a limited or fixed mindset, it's going to hinder. It's going to hinder what you're trying to go forward to. Okay. But moving forward and keep going will show you nothing but true. Okay, because eventually if you keep doing what you need to do and you keep working on yourself, guess what? You're going to get better. You're going to reach your goals. Okay, you might not reach your goals as quick as other people, but you will reach your goals. And that's something that I had to learn for myself. Okay, don't get stuck in what other people feel or what you feel, because sometimes people will project onto you and make you feel a certain type of way to where you stop. And then you look and you start seeing, God will give you glimpses of hope when you begin, you want to stop and you start seeing people who have less than you and go through it, or people who have it worse than you and they going through it, and you're like, oh shoot, I should have went through it. And now you got to pick up, which is going to be heavier to pick up and keep going. And then you keep things moving, but it makes a difference. Okay. And so I want you guys to just be mindful of that. Okay. How to move forward and press forward when people try to attack you, they slander you, they say odd things to you. People will come out, oh, you're not as attractive. I remember when I was competing, and I remember people will say, oh yeah, you're not as attractive as so-and-so, and you're not attractive as this person and that. And it's like, okay, if you know anything about pageantry, and this is what I want to tell people, if you know anything about pageantry, it's not about competing against the next person. It's never about that. It's about showing what you have, So when those attacks came, if I didn't have that kind of, if I hadn't faced that kind of criticism and those things before, I wouldn't be able to stand in it, okay? And I wouldn't have been able to win so many prizes that I've already won, So this is the purpose of moving forward, because you start finding out that no matter what people say, no matter what people do, they don't have control. They don't have control over how far you go in life, over your goals and your accomplishments that you were designed to do before you were even created. Okay? That's what you're gonna have to understand about the power of persistence, because there are gonna be a lot of people, and I promise you, it's way more people that are in this world that are spreading negativity and spreading unkindness to people, because there are a lot of people who are stuck in their own ways. They are stuck in their own mess. Okay, somebody done told them they wasn't it. They couldn't do it. Okay, so now they're using their compass, their standard, their motor standard to say, oh yeah, you can't do it because this person told me I couldn't do it, and because I feel like I should be better than you, even though I didn't put in the work, even though I stopped in the middle of it and didn't see the fruitation of my life. I see you and you're not to where I thought of myself, imagine myself to be, so I gotta put you down. Okay. Another person that I talk about this about a lot of people who are in Asia too, because I travel to Asia a lot, and they go through the same thing. People will criticize them, but the good thing about people who are in Asia and places like that, they already know the power of discipline. A lot of people, they will say whatever, they have no filter. A lot of people don't have any filter, and they might be telling the truth, but people over there are able to see if they keep going, they're still going to be okay. A lot of people in the States don't believe that. They don't believe that. So then when you are persistent and you start seeing the fruit and everybody else starts seeing the fruit, then that shuts up Your haters. That's how you shut up your haters. Okay? I will tell you this. There are a lot of people who will come on this live and come on my platform right now who will say some mean, hateful things about me. Okay? And I honestly have to say, I don't care. TV intro, well, you never skip. I don't care, okay? Because I went through that fire. I went through that humiliation before. And it just lets me know anytime somebody says something like that, that I'm getting one step closer to my goal, okay? There's one step closer to my goal. Because you know you're going in the right direction, because that comes with the territory. That comes with the territory. Having haters and having people say that you can't do this, or they got to point out something to try to make themselves feel validated instead of working on themselves, okay? That's the power of persistence. So I hope that this helps people, because it has definitely helped me during this process. You know, things don't look, when you're really doing the real work and you're persistent, it's not going to look picture perfect every single day what people put on social media and see you all made up and all glitz and glam and all that other stuff. It's not going to come like that. That don't work. You got to get up in the middle of the day. Do y'all know how much I run now? Back again, y'all know how much I get up and read books. Y'all know how much I have to put in the work, okay? It ain't gonna come overnight. It comes with discipline and persistence, okay? Those people who spreading that negativity, after a while, they gotta shut up. If you start winning, you failing, but you failing at a higher level, okay? Because you're doing something that is different. A lot of people who look like they're succeeding, they're doing things that come naturally to them, that they're, what the heck? They're doing things that are very easy to them. Oh my God. Oh, okay. I was scared, y'all. They're doing things that are easy to them, things that they have known for years. People have trained them. So they don't have any adrenaline. They don't have anything to learn or grasp. They already know how to do it. They're just doing the same thing over and over and over consistently without growing, okay? Without growing. You're being persistent at learning different things, different obstacles, okay? So of course you're gonna fall down. Of course you're gonna look like the worst person out there. Of course you're gonna look like not an expert, because you're doing something that is uncomfortable and unfamiliar to you. But guess what happens when you keep practicing and you keep going and you keep persisting? You get better. You get better. And guess what? Them same people who are doing the same thing that look like experts, you start outshining them. Why? Because they doing the same thing. And when they go and try to do things to pick up, they might look like they can hold it for a little while, but you put in that work to put in that persistence and that stamina to hold it for a long duration, okay? And that's what I want y'all to learn about persistence, okay? Because it starts burning people off. That helped me a lot when I would have people who also would come around me and mock everything that I would do. They would act like they're my friends, and they would like things that I would do, and they would, oh yeah, you should slow down, you shouldn't work these jobs. Then all of a sudden they want to work an extra job. They want to work where I work at, volunteer where I work at, so they can go get a job where I work at, do all this other stuff, and then tell other people how crazy I am and delusional, and I'm, you know, this beggar and stuff. But after a while, guess what? I kept doing what I was doing because I was called to do this. Guess what? They burned out. They fizzled out. They fizzled out. Okay? That's what you want. That's what happens with persistence. Persistence is not a feeling. You know, when you really want to be great or good at something, it's not about a feeling. It's about doing things that are uncomfortable for you. Even when it hurts, do you get up? When you don't want to get up in the morning and you're so tired and everything went wrong, everything in your life went wrong that could go wrong, okay? And people not looking at you the same way. They're not holding you in the same regard. Are you able to get up and keep moving forward? Because that's going to dictate whether you are a true champion or not, okay? That is nothing else. That's persistence. Okay, so that's what I want to share with you guys. Hi to everyone who's in here. I didn't want you guys to think that I like left and stopped, but I was just having a lot of crazy comments that I had to block for review. Let's see. Yeah. And so, yeah, but hey to everyone who's in there. Hopefully my message has helped you. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned. The Journey to Jerusalem, y'all. And keep going.